Yes, Sirski. Right about now, episode number 1 of Nobody's Exempt. And I'm just so thrilled to introduce my co-host. Before I let you know his name, let me talk about him a little bit. He played his first football with Wilshire. Not in the new, but in the original King Conference. Played his high school football at Fairfax. I don't know if y'all remember, but it was one team that went 12-0 and won the championship. My man was on that team. Then he ended up going to San Jose, where he was recruited and coached by, if you a football head, you know this cat, Herm Edwards. You know, all on TV, football analyst right now. Then he coached a little bit of high school. He was at D-High. For those of you that don't know, that's Dominguez High School. And he got some work in at Lakewood. Then back when I met him, I was with the Compton Titans and the Compton Vikings. His name? Khalil Wadu. But if you know him like I know him, we call him the Comish. What's happening, Comish?
What's going on, baby?
How you doing, man?
It's all good, baby.
Indeed, man. So you and Nobody's Exempt, man. How you feeling right now?
I'm feeling real good, man. I'm just glad, we can sit down and chop it up about this youth football thing and just introduce myself, and nobody's exempt. Let's get to it.
So one thing for sure, we're going to be the illest and the realest.
Yes, sir.
So let's get into the meat and gravy of this thing, man.
All right.
So before we get into this, I like that fit you got on, man. What's that, Sean Kemp?
Yeah, it's an old throwback Sean Kemp, the Rain Man.
Best dunker of all time?
I don't want to say of all time, but he did his thing.
Who would be your best dunker of all? Mine is easy. But my question to you, who is the best dunker of all time?
I'm gonna have to get back to you on that one.
Yeah, nobody better than Vince Carter.
There it is.
Half man, half amazing.
There it is. There.
Yeah, you can't beat that, right?
That one.
So, are you a Sonics fan?
No, sir.
Who's your team, man?
Come on now, where I live, born and raised. Los Angeles Lakers.
Oh, I was about to say, you got the Clipper red on today.
No, not the slippers.
So, yeah, man, hey, good, bad, and the ugly. Let's talk about your team, the LA Lakers.
Excuse me. Let's talk about it.
So, you got the man on your team, man. Is that the GOAT? LBJ?
He's one of the best to do it.
One of the best. I give him that. So, LBJ. So, he in the news, man. Besides being as great as he is, he's been charged with nepotism. You know the meaning of that word?
I'm pretty sure everybody got different meanings.
Okay, what does that mean to you, man?
That means, in the simplicity,
or difficulty, either one.
It means you got a seat at the table and you get to call a shot and make some things happen that the average.
That's boss stuff.
The average person would.
That's boss. So if you was in this position, would you have pulled your son on your team?
No, sir. No, sir.
So personally, I do believe in nepotism.
I believe in it too, brother.
I just don't think taking nepotism out of it, I don't think Bronny was good enough to make it to the NBA. He averaged a triple single.
Well, if we're talking about the Lakers and the winning culture and what we demand as fans and what we used to, we would never go out and get nobody that just average 4 points. First or second round.
Yeah, no, without question. Unless you saw something in him that, like Kobe, nobody saw that. Kobe, believe it or not, he didn't go first.
Look, Digga, I'm going to tell you, because I'm not against it, but at the end of the day, it's right and wrong. And like I told my brother, we don't come from privilege and generational wealth. We come from out the mud. Work hard, put your work in, and let the chips fall where they may. And I'm gonna just wrap it up like this. My son was the whole thing in high school. The guy. And when I got offered the opportunity to coach at St. John Bosco, he looked at me and said, "Pops, I don't want you to coach the secondary. And I was like, why not? Because he said, because I don't want nobody to think I'm starting and I'm getting what I'm getting because you the coach.
Respect to
So
Jaleel. He's the real one. Shouts out,
again,
nephew.
that comes down to the individual and how you want to get it. So, and I'm gonna just leave
Say
it at
no
that.
more. I'm saying no more. So let's get back to the meat and gravy on why we here, what we here to talk about.
Yes,
the
sir.
subject matter. Snoop Youth Football League. How long have you been the commissioner, and how did that come to be?
And I'm going on year 19 of being the Snoop Youth Football League commissioner, and it came to be in 2005 when Snoop and I had a conversation and met while coaching in Orange County Junior All-America. And we just decided as great as our experience, my experience as a coach in Junior All-American, as great as experience that it was just things that was taking place over there that we felt like wasn't really beneficial to the community, to our parents. And we just thought we need to put something back in the community that benefits us, that could cater to us.
But you've been holding it down for 19 years.
Yes, sir.
Peace and blessings to you.
Appreciate that. But it ain't
I wouldn't want to be in your shoes, by the
well,
way.
you know what? 19 years, but I ain't gonna lie. It ain't 19 years by myself. I had some solid people in the beginning
Yes, sir.
that helped get it off the ground. And then God willing, great glory be to God. I got some people that still stayed down 19 years later. And the organizations, the parents, the community, you know, the whole village.
Man, it has to be a different. I mean, again, I salute you, Comish, but that is a daunting task. But with that being said, what do you like the most about running things in the SYFL?
I like the most that I like the fact that our communities, our community is thriving. It just seems like everyone's happy. It's a positive outlet. We have dads being reunited with their sons. Families are coming back together. Fathers are more involved than ever. Than we've been around this thing for quite some time, and when we were coaching, we've seen a lot of single mothers. And now, since the consistency in the years that we've been blessed to have a Snoop Youth Football League, seeing a lot of dads.
That's true.
Yeah,
it's a lot more dads.
A lot
these
more
days.
dads involved. So yes, sir. Shout out to all the fathers that made mistakes. That's getting it right. It's getting it back together. And I mean, I'm talking about we got everything. We got ex-professional athletes, college grads, gangbangers.
I'm with all of that. Just no pedos. That's the only thing we cannot do.
We can't take none of them.
Yeah, everything else we're reforming.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yes, sir. We agree on that wholeheartedly.
Nah, but that's dope. What you got going for the community. So I can feel that. But glory be to God, like you say, right?
Yes, sir.
What's the least thing that you do? What is it that you don't like about? What irritates you? What is it that you don't appreciate about being the head honcho?
Heavy who wears the crown. And because of my title, I gotta take the blunt of the abuse and the whys and the how come. But it's just when the people don't seem grateful, and everything that we do, from myself and my staff, we don't have kids involved, no longer playing. We don't have a dog in the race. We just here because it's something we started, and it's something that we committed to. And it just seems at times, not everybody, but it's enough people that do things at times to show that they just don't have they're just not grateful, no gratitude. And that's kind of disheartening because it's us, so.
Well, man, I hate hearing that, brother. I can tell you that you are appreciated, but the way it goes, you only hear the loud voices. You don't really hear. You hear loud voices, but only when it's something they don't like,
Right.
and they don't really mention it when you're doing the right thing. So I
Right.
don't know. Maybe the quieter, the better. I don't
Uh,
know.
the quieter the better, but again, when you sit back and yeah, come on, it's just like we human. When you're doing something, when it's organic and it's genuine and it's from the heart and it's not giving back the same way, I'm human. I'm sensitive and it hurts my feelings. So I'm just being honest.
Hey, well there it is, man. Throw W's in the chat right now, man, for the Comish for Wadu. You feel me? If you appreciate brother Wadu, put them W's in the chat.
All W's count. I love them all.
Indeed, indeed. So thinking about football right now. I noticed how they changed up the kickoff protocol in the NFL. You plan to make any safety changes like that or anything in the SYFL this year?
Well, it's always safety first, so I'm almost sure that the lawmakers and the powers that be that oversee this whole thing will be getting in touch with us, letting us know. Probably have that information for you, a more solid answer for that on 8/3, where we have our coaches clinic at Crenshaw High School.
That's coming up.
Yes, sir. That's where we get into the nuts and bolts and everything that's going to take place and that's required for the season.
So yeah, the coaching clinic is gonna be running a little differently this year, man. Everybody not gonna meet up and talk their stuff. All the coaches, all levels. What's going on with that?
No, we want to get in and out, and everybody get it. I don't want to hold everybody hostage and try to get 350 some coaches together and feed them and try to have them in there for hours, 4 hours, while I hope they're retaining the information. So I'm just going to get in there. It's going to be a 2.5 hour, from 9 to 11:30, 2.5 hour coaching clinic. Just
You don't have to feed them in 2.5 hours. You can just get
we
them.
probably have a continental breakfast for the brothers.
So Krispy Kreme or something like that.
Some good coffee and donuts or something.
Show. So this year, is there any level that you think is going to be highly competitive in the SYFL? So 6U, you never know. I mean, that's always a brand new thing. Even though the Chiefs somehow win it every year, so I don't know about that. But 8U up might be very interesting.
The league is starting to. You know what I'm saying? What's that word? It's starting to slowly but surely balance out to where it's like, it ain't just that one. The LA Chiefs still hold that rank as the most dominant as far as most teams, but it's starting to balance out.
No, but back to the Chiefs though, man. They seem like they're the standard in the league right now.
It has to be a standard. It's always that organization that kind of set the bar. That's the standard to give you that. Like, we got to get like that. When I was a player, it was the LA Demos. It was the Demos. They reigned and ruled for decades.
They used to get at y'all at Wilshire.
Beat the dog out of us.
Now the Demos, East Side used to be the business. Are they still up and running? I heard they had a couple teams.
I'm not sure, but that's what I'm talking about. And it's funny, that's just, nobody's exempt. Everybody had a time and a moment. And, the grace of God, it's the challenge of how long you can hold it, because everybody gun for the champ. And then once you become the champ, how long can you hold on to the title before somebody else comes? So, it moves. I tell my nephew Joey, I say, yeah, y'all got to, right now it's y'all time. But you can think about it, though, Digga. You can think back, we've been in this long enough to where you can remember when everybody had their time. Carson had their time.
Yeah.
Baldwin had their time.
Kinda.
No, Baldwin 55 years, 57 years.
I wasn't in the mix when Baldwin was just smashing on.
And they got some history. They got some players. I mean, it's just like everybody Everybody had a moment in the sun.
Yeah. I think of Carson. I think of Compton. Who else was dominant?
I think of
Inglewood had a
Compton.
couple cool years
I think
too.
of Compton a lot.
Yeah, yeah. Compton was definitely, man, goes down in history. I don't know if they now this. You know what? This is a good discussion right here. Compton or Carson, who's had the most success in the entirety of their existence? Because you remember
I would
Carson used to be playing Carson
I
in
would
Super
say
Bowls.
Carson. I would say Carson as far as longevity, um, tradition. They got players.
Yeah.
But then when I start talking about my coaching tenure and my time, I always beat Carson. I never
You
lost.
never lost to Carson
I
in your
never
life?
lost to Carson in my life.
You know it's Carson on mine. You do know that, right? Why you talk
Oh,
when I'm not exempt?
you're not exempt. Nobody's exempt.
No, for
Nobody's
sure,
exempt.
no. I didn't know that, but that's a cold fact right there. That's a cold fact. So how come you don't get back into coaching?
Um, you got to know when to walk away. It's just I did my time. I'm grateful for the moment I had coaching, and I'm just a fan of the game now, and I really embrace this commissioner seat. I think this is where I'm needed. I don't think I'm really needed on the football field, but I think I'm needed here, and that's it on that.
Yeah. So thinking about the future, man. What character? Let's say somebody starting up a new chapter or something like that. What points do they need to touch, or what would be desired? What kind of characteristics do they need to have to join the SYFL?
They just got to buy in. It's not nothing difficult. They just got to buy into what in the direction and move and row in the same direction that the league is rowing in. And we all in together. We just about the betterment of the kids and providing a safe, positive environment for them. Trying to teach them fundamentals of football. Trying to keep it fun. Trying to keep it youthful. Keyword youthful. Not trying to make it too much because they got to deal with the politics and everything else. They got all that to look forward to. But just a real safe, positive, family, fun environment, and to where the kids grow up and just, when you say Snoop U Football League, they smile and say, "I played in that and we had a great experience."
Now speaking of that, kids that played in the SYFL, do we have any that made it to play some pro ball, some NFL?
19 years later, when I get asked that question, I can remember. I could just name off a few. We have so many, but I hate when I don't hate it. It just bothers me that I can't name off everybody because I don't want nobody to feel left out. But we have more than our share of kids that's been blessed to see the National Football League. And when you think of some names, you think of until just recently, his time was broken in the combine. It's 40 times. So we had John Ross. Um,
He was
yeah,
once the fastest 40 of all time, right?
in the National Football League, yes,
Yeah.
sir. That's a Snoop League legend. The Black Mamba, DeAnthony
I
Thomas.
think that's my favorite, the Black Mamba.
Yes, you wouldn't be wrong. You and a lot of others. Um, rest in peace, Ronnie Hillman, um, Greg Ducray, Juju Smith-Schuster,
I forgot Juju.
um, so
Man,
they get C.J. Stroud.
CJ.
Um,
For sure, that was a Pomona Steeler, huh?
yeah.
Or was it Diamond back then? Oh, that's crazy. Coach Fly.
No, it's
Shouts out to Coach Fly for sure.
Shout out to Coach Fly, Superfly, the great.
One of the best.
Yes, sir.
Him,
Yes,
Toddy
sir.
T. Some of the all-time best. But wow, man. But that's incredible, man. From the ghettos of the SYFL to the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, we was just the Snoop League. We was just, I could be candid on here, right?
Yes, sir. Without
So
question.
we was just supposed to be the the wild nigga league that wasn't supposed to survive 2 years because the whoever they are just didn't think we could come together collectively as a culture and have something that will last. We proved them wrong. Now we do have our challenges, as we did in the beginning, as we do right now, but somehow we push through it, and we still around 19 years later.
Yes, Sirski. Well, I'm definitely proud to be a part of the SYFL.
Oh yeah, you one of the pillars.
Indeed.
Yes,
I
sir.
appreciate that. Appreciate that. I haven't won a championship in quite a long time though, man. I'm kind of itching, man. Probably don't want it as bad as some of these youngsters out here, but I wouldn't mind getting one more of them chrome babies to add to the collection.
Some people, if things is hard to come by, some people say they ain't.
Man.
You got you one. Some people can't say that.
Yes, sir. Without question. Well, there it is, man. This is the introductory #1 episode of Nobody's Exempt. It's Digga and the Comish. Now, before we get up out of here, you got any jewels to drop on our people?
I don't know really no jewels. Just everybody got to know that 7/22, July 22nd is the first official day of practice. I just wish that everybody dig into that rule book, honor the rules, let the rules govern the league. That way it take the personal out of it. I'm going to say that again. If you let the rules govern the league, it takes the personal out of it. So if we do that, we'll be all right. And just honor that rule book, because anything other than that, it's lawsuits. It's consequences to when you don't do that. So make sure all that paperwork, fees, make sure the business of the organization and the league is taken care of. So by the time it come near the football games, we could just rock and roll and have fun and see who's ready to play for that Snoop Lombardi.
Indeed. Indeed. Yes, Sirski. You've been blessed by the best. Who, me? I'm King Digga.
And I'm the commish.
And no matter who you are,
Or who you with,
nobody's exempt.